Hi, I'm Jason from Endless Wave Dynamics, where every week I'll be on the front line of your creative business battles. Now, I say every week, but those who are following might have noticed that I've not put out some content in a while. There's been a lot of music production. I'm working for other podcasts. I'm even living in a totally different country right now. But anyway, onwards and upwards. Today I'm talking with my good friend, Toby Presson. Toby runs a web design and branding company called Swan Websites that's specifically niched at the financial sector. Toby has a great story to share, so I had to get him on and talk about it. I've known him for the last 3 to 4 years, and I've seen him progress from what was a normal 9-to-5 job, working in a pensions company, to traveling the world working on his own freedom business that allows him to work remotely from any location. He did this all by working on his social skills, which allowed him to climb the corporate ladder really quickly, especially at such a young age. And he gained the experience that he needed to get on the same page as all the eyeball rollers in that industry. He then went out and networked his ass off and found potential problems in the system that he knew how to put right. Then he started selling that solution back to them. Clever guy. So we're going to be talking about that itch that us entrepreneurs get to leave the 9-to-5 and finding a business idea that allows a location-free lifestyle. That includes testing the market and finding out what's actually feasible by finding problems in the areas that you're actually experienced about. And along with that comes networking tips and sales psychology, communication patterns and trigger points for consumers internationally. We're also going to be talking about the correct way to find both mentors and clients by being the person that everybody wants on the side. And finally, we're going to be talking about how to customize branding to be fully representative of your client, while being careful of only choosing clients that actually represent you. It's so important. So anyway, enjoy this one with Toby Presson. Right, Toby. I'm in with my good friend Toby. We've been friends for a while, and I've seen you progress from being working a normal 9-to-5 to like now traveling the world like me, working from your laptop, working an internet business, doing stuff that you want to do, living the life that you want to live. Tell me a bit about yourself, Toby.
Yeah, so I mean, to be quite simple, I used to work a 9-to-5 job in the pensions finance industry. And some would say it's a job for life. You're secure, you've got your position that you need. And it was at quite an early stage of my life as well. So a lot of people would say like, oh, this is a great job. This is a great, fantastic position to be in. You can work here for the rest of your life, have a mortgage, settle, have money left over. And it's at such an early age.
I was going to say, like, we were 20, right, at the time?
21.
21 at the time, which is like, to have all that put on your plate and to be promoted so high as what you did so quickly. And then, like, to think, oh, I can have this for the rest of my life and feel comfortable. But you didn't want that. You weren't feeling comfortable.
Well, it was like, I was in the position I was in, and I moved up to a corporate accounts consultant. And this position that I was in there was like the responsibility was great. It was great to have this level of responsibility in the job. And at the time, it was like, oh, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. This is great. This is amazing. I enjoyed it for the short time I was there. And it started to dawn on me that like, if I leave this and go run away and stuff like that and explore and do things that I want to do, the pain of not having that job anymore was like, oh, damn. So for the short amount of time I stayed there, I was stuck in this. If I leave, I'll not be able to get it back. If I leave, I won't be able to get it back. I need to stay here. Oh, the economy is really bad right now. Yeah. I can't just survive running around like selling sandwiches or something like that. I need to...
It's hard to go back. It's hard to think, oh, I'm going to go backwards.
Yeah, exactly. It's
just like, so that you can go forwards that few steps.
And there's so much fear around, like, once you get a good job, you need to keep it because there's no good jobs out there. Like, there's nothing. There's people struggling. There's, like, people with university degrees with no job. You need to stay in this job. And it's like, damn, okay, all right,
And you've got, like, families swaying those situations as well.
Families, friends, other work colleagues, people who are just, you meet randomly and you tell about your job and stuff. They're like, yeah, wow, that's such a good position to be in. You got like a nice, good job here. You got a nice, cushy, nice job. And so the fear of that kind of kept me in the position I was in. I was like, all right, I'll do it. And I was stuck in Sheffield, and I've had a passion to travel since I was like yay high, maybe 5, 6, something like that. I've always, see, my mum's foreign, so we always went abroad quite a lot. And when I went abroad, I got a kind of different feeling than I did when I was back home in England. And it kind of, it's like a bit of a snowball effect. When I was a kid, I used to go abroad. I'd be like, oh, like, this is so amazing. This is so much fun. And asking questions and like, oh, what's this? Or what's that? Or how come they do it like this? Or how come they do it like that? And hearing stories of why they do it like that and being amazed by it. And then as I got older and older and older, Went on a few short trips with friends, and I noticed the same feeling when I went with friends. Like, oh, look at this. Oh, like, look at this. Oh, this is so cool. Then I'd come home, and you get this different feeling of like, oh, it's the same.
Yeah.
So then the scale started to tip. So it went from fear of losing my job, the fear of not being able to get a career like that again, and the passion to travel. So it started out like this. The fear to leave was higher than the passion to travel. Yeah. And the longer I stayed there, it just rose and rose and rose and rose. To the point where I was like, all right, how do I do both? How do I actually figure out a way to do both? Mm-hmm. And to start with, I had no complete idea. And a lot of the ways I looked into weren't really feasible. So there's ways you can work abroad. You can get a job in a bar, a hostel. You can blog. One of the ways you can travel and work is you can blog. And if you write a blog and you write a review about certain hotels and stuff, a lot of the time they'll actually give you free accommodation in the hope that you'll blog about them if your blog is big enough.
That's cool. As you was climbing up in your job before you left, you started to work on your social life. You started to work on being much more of a people person, which allowed you to progress so much more in your job while you was doing it. And obviously you gained experience from that, but more to the point that you managed to step up the ladder really quickly by becoming a much more people-friendly person. And adding those social skills into your life, it allowed you, for me looking at it, it allows you to be able to think, right, I don't have to be stuck to this one job. I don't have to be stuck to this corporate thing. Now I've got these skills, I can apply them anywhere in life. That I can just walk out the door and be able to hustle my way to any kind of money, whatever I need to be able to live, and to be able to do that in a happy life rather than in a corporate setting.
Yeah, I think that's probably the key to getting anywhere in any form of career or job. And to the point where you'll see this in certain jobs that anybody can get into. You see the guy that's really good at his job and works really hard, but isn't exactly a social people person, will be stuck in that position. And yet the guy who's everybody's friend at work and the manager's best friend at work, all of a sudden he's been promoted and everyone's like,
how did he get that job? He's not as good as me. He's not as talented as me.
And it causes this like arguments and stuff like, oh, this guy who like friends everybody and stuff and everyone likes him. And then the clever guy's just like, ah. So I started to realize that, quite early on as an age, I've had quite a lot of jobs over the years. And I started to realize that. And I think somebody even told it me, it's not the person who's good at the job, it's the person who's liked the most. Yeah. And obviously you need a certain level of capability within the job. So I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. So I started to test in like making friends and being really social and stuff like that. And you learn the wrong ways and the right ways, and you learn the perfect ways. And you learn that once you're a really great person to be around and stuff, they want to have you in a position of authority because it shows what type of person they want. Leadership. Yeah, you'll take an order from somebody. There's a great saying actually, fear and likability. So there's two ways to manage a group of people. There is like fear, where you just shout at them and say, if you don't do this, you're going to get punished. If you don't do this, you're going to get punished. They'll do it, but they won't do it as well as if you motivate them through being a people person. And you're like, they would like to do this for you, and they'll do this for you better than they would do if you're like, if you don't do this, you're not getting lunch, or you can stay an extra hour, or you get punished this way or that way. Instead of, oh, can you do this for me? Like, and they like you, they'll be like, yeah, sure. And they'll do it much better.
You see it a lot in like the tech industries. So like different tech communities where they'll have things like big lounge areas with computer games and stuff, and just like being able to relax at work. But then nobody actually uses that anyway. They still crack on with the work. But just that ability of knowing that your boss allows you to do that just suddenly makes you a much more efficient worker. It suddenly makes you more wanting to work and wanting to be part of a team and a community and stuff. But like, you really nail on there when you're talking about, if I were to apply it to the creative community, creative industries like musicians, artists, photographers, all you guys at home, it's very easy to only be focused on doing the job. So you say it's not just about your talent. You can be focusing on your job, that's fine, but that's never going to set you up the ladder in your creative business. You need to be out there. Sadly. You need to be meeting. It's really sad because it's not just your talent.
Because if it was, like, how different would industries be?
Yeah.
If the guy who could really, really professionally complete the job gets to that situation instead of the guy who's just massively social and does his job all right. Yeah. And it's kind of like that, yeah.
But you just need those skills to be able to work. But you started doing a very creative. You've taken on a very creative position doing websites, web designs. Yeah. So now you go out and you negotiate with different finance businesses towards making their websites better and more efficient. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I mean, this is quite interesting. So once I decided that the job I was in wasn't fulfilling who I am as a person anymore, and it becomes quite depressing to go to work, then I decided to cut it off and travel. And then I came across different ways to start businesses and whatnot. And I can't remember who it was now who mentioned this, and it was find a problem, find a solution to the problem, and build a business around that. This is the basis of being an entrepreneur, is find a problem, find a solution, and build a business around the solution. And then that is basically how every business works. Yeah. There's different ways as well, which is we'll probably go into later. But like I worked a lot with financial advisors, and I'd go into a lot of financial advisors companies because we'd have to background check these financial advisors. To be able to work with them, we need to know that they're like official, like they've got FCA registered. I think it's still FCA or one of the two. And through doing that, you go onto the website, you check out who they are, and you realize the websites are so outdated. You're like, because a lot of the financial advisors you come across who've gone quite far are usually in the late 40s and 50s. Yeah, like, sure. And they've got a really good client base and people love them and stuff, but the website's just built 20, 30 years ago. It's a one page, I'm a great financial, you know what I mean? Like,
it looks like it were cobbled together on an Atari ST.
Yeah, it was made on a Windows computer that had the big screens, you know, the whack-off screens on it. Like, it kind of sprung on me that you can kind of help these people in this situation who want to boost their business. Like, we're all aware now, everybody's aware. It's slapping you in the face of how much the internet is becoming such a key, important role in everything.
Yeah, most of the shopping experience of everyone, whether it be buying food, clothes, financial institution stuff, it's all online. Everything's online. That's where it's going. So you found a problem in an area that you were experienced in already, and then you started to up their game. Tell me about networking though. How did you get your first clients? How did you start doing that?
So that was interesting. So it is all about communication in the right ways, I think. My first client I actually did was I looked up a list of financial advisors around my local area because the idea was to get a meeting with them and just chat to them. It's just important to find out if it's feasible to do this. So you could come up with a business idea that's great. You find a problem, you find a solution, but nobody's really bothered about the solution or the problem. It's not an important enough of a problem. And the solution, you know, the cost of the solution outweighs the cost of the problem. So you need to kind of test the market. So I went out there, contacted the local financial advisors, had a sit down with them and said, what's your biggest problems and stuff? Said, is finding new clients an issue for you? How do you find new clients? How do most financial advisors retrieve new clients? Because obviously websites is a way for people to find out about somebody. It used to be the old school days where you ask your friend and they recommend a friend or a guy, or you look through the yellow pages. Nowadays, your website is you. Like literally who you are is conveyed through a website nowadays. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, the new financial advisor doesn't have a word of mouth about him, a good recommendation about him. Then how does he get that? How does he get the new clients to come in? Well, obviously new clients who don't find people who are going to give word of mouth are going to just look on the internet. And therefore, every first impression they get from you is going to be from your website and whatnot. If it's a poor, outdated website, they think, how clicked on is this guy to the information that's going on in the world? If it's a new branded website, it's like walking into a fancy shop. You're like, as soon as you walk into a fancy shop, you immediately think that everything in there is going to be better quality. Yeah. And it's crazy how it works. There's actually
same clothes, different layout.
Same clothes, different brand. So like, there'd be there's a great saying actually. It's not a great saying. There's a great like quote or something like that says like something that costs 20% more, which is exactly the same. Psychologically, the person feels like it has an advantage over the thing. Even if it's built exactly and looks exactly the same, feels exactly the same, they'd look at it and be like, what would that expensive one do? You know, like it just feel a bit different and it lasts a little bit longer. And it's psychologically it works like that. So you look at an old, outdated website and a new, flashy website, you immediately think the guy with a flashy website, because again, websites are people and whatnot. So they'd think, oh, this new flashy website, that means that person's clicked on, that person's good, this company's established, this company's decent. So I had to pitch that idea to financial advisors that were looking for new clients or knew that the word of mouth industry would die at some point. And yeah, it's all now communication through websites. So it used to be, in the old days, a guy in his village, and you'd have a small village and one guy would be a financial advisor. And he'd go to the pub, He'd hang out with his mates. He'd tell his mates what he does. His neighbours would tell neighbours. And everybody would know that this guy's the financial advisor. Everybody would know that this guy's the plumber. Everybody would know that this guy's the baker. And it would work like that. Yeah. Now, communities aren't small anymore.
Yeah. We're not living in a town or a village anymore. We're living in the world because of the internet's opened that up, which allows us to run businesses like what we're talking about from the internet anywhere around the world. I mean, do you want to go into that? I mean, that's like...
Yeah, it's like the old communication of neighbours and stuff is now the only way to find out about a business now is generally through the internet. So the communication's changed from meeting your neighbour and asking your neighbour if they know somebody to checking the internet. And how you communicate to your new customers is just through that now. It's not asking next door neighbour. Sometimes it does still happen, asking next door neighbour, oh, do you know a good financial advisor? Or who's a financial advisor around here? It's now... So you need to communicate who you are through that, if that makes sense. And it's a worldwide thing now. Like somebody in India could hire somebody from the UK. Somebody from Russia could hire somebody from Ukraine. Like everybody's just, whoever's good, whoever pops out to them, whoever stands out to them, whoever matches them as a person or communicates to them, is who they'll purchase from. And it's like a worldwide huge thing.
So how much does that influence you to travel and get out there?
Yeah, I travel and get out there for various reasons, really. Influencing me to get out there and see how other businesses do it in different countries. Because every single country has a way. Every single country has a view and a vision and an idea. And what works in one country doesn't work in another country. You'll see this if you go to, say, a great example of this is BMW. You go into BMW in Lithuania, it's different to BMW in England. It's built differently, it's looked differently, the marketing, the wording's differently, everything. Because they need to find out what the country needs, what problems the country have, and tailor to that. And it's the same as when I travel and stuff, you need to see how that country works and how that country thinks and tailor to that if you was going to be a worldwide marketed business. Which comes down to when you meet the clients, you need to find out what they want to tell the customers, how they want to express themselves. They'll have the colours, they'll have the wording, they'll have how things are like shaped out specifically to reach the average 20 to 30-year-old male. Then you need to meet somebody like a financial advisor, for example, and say, who's your client base? And then you need to completely build this website to communicate directly to his customer base. And so it's communicated perfectly to the sort of clients that he wants to meet and get along with. And when you travel and you see different types of countries have different types of client bases and different types of people, and they all try and niche it or make it look perfectly for that specific person.
So there are different trigger points. There's different things triggering different cultures to actually buy into what you're selling.
Yeah, it's basically we're different from people to people, and we're vastly different from country to country, nation to nation. Like it's unbelievable how different we are. We all connect on basic levels. So we all connect on things like football. We've all got a football team we support, for example, unless like you live in some countries that don't support football.
I don't, but whatever.
We all listen.
No, but we've all got human empathy. We've all got some kind of humanity. We've all got different connections that
we all watch movies. We all listen to music. We all enjoy human companionship, I'd say. We all enjoy basic things like that we connect on as humans. You can always connect to any single human on the things that every human likes. But it's difficult as a business, for example, to target worldwide. That's why when you go on like Apple, you'll be like Apple UK, Apple America, Apple Russia, Apple Spain, because they're all targeted differently, shaped up differently. Very minute ways. They all have different wording towards people's problems in that country.
Sure.
So that sort of communication is quite interesting to learn from traveling the world and stuff. And figuring that out from meeting people, I think the best thing you can possibly do when traveling or even in business is meeting people. And I think I was saying this to somebody the other day. They said, what's the best way to start a business? And I said, there's a billion books out there. There's a billion things you can do. There's a billion videos you can watch. I said, to be honest with you, the best way is to speak to somebody who's done it and just ask them and build that connection. You need to meet somebody who's done it. And if you connect with him and like the way he's done it, learn directly from him, and he'll tell you exactly where to start. He'll tell you which angle to hit the world. Mentor, it's like the most important thing.
Sure.
And you can connect to any human being, again, like we said, on things that all human beings have. Like.
Yeah, so like, don't necessarily approach your mentor with a gimme attitude. It's got to be, you'll not get anywhere. They don't want to give you anything. It's basically using those social and rapport building skills that we talked about earlier, and basically bridging gaps in connections of other human beings to like get under somebody's wing, to like go along with them. But you've got to be offering something in return. You've got to be doing something for them to think, oh yeah, I want to help this guy.
It's the basics of like how humans work. You can't go up and be like, I want to know what you know. I want to know what you know. I want to know what you know. Give. Tell me your information. Sit down for a couple of hours out of your day and tell me what you want to know. He's just going to be like, no. You get this kind of feeling from them that they're like a leech. They just want. As soon as they get what they want, they're out.
Yeah.
So you need to give and be like, how I generally did it when I met my first mentors. I was like, can I just hang out? Get to know you and stuff. I didn't ask any questions at that point. And I was like, oh, how's it going? Be really cool, be really friendly. The easiest way to give value or to give something instead of just taking, easiest way is to just make them enjoy your company without wanting anything off them. Yeah. It doesn't mean buying them drinks and stuff like that, because some people can feel like you're trying to buy your way into them. Like, oh, you're trying to buy your way in to liking me. Like, oh, I'll buy you this drink. Oh, I'll buy you a dinner. Like,
just smart, like compliments. Nothing that's like too over the top. It's got to be kind of smooth.
Yeah,
it's like basically like you're treating your potential client as a friend.
Yeah, I think that's more key than anything. Getting along with your client is probably more key than absolutely anything.
Yeah. Why would you even want to work with people that you don't want to get along with?
I mean, I've had clients in the past where I've contacted them and got along with them and stuff and whatnot, and then they've started to become not such a nice client. And some people will just chase the sale. They're just like, I just want to make the sale, make them happy. You end up bending over backwards, getting like horrible emails, like not very nice communication from them, not very nice experience with them. All for what? For money? Like there's as much clients that you'll get along with as there is clients that you won't get along with. And to just chase the money endlessly, that's kind of like anybody. You'll do anything for anybody just for money. It's not really about that for me. I want to travel more than anything, so I just want the money to travel. I'm not really bothered about like sitting at home in a castle and whatnot and chasing sales that I don't really enjoy. So like if I don't get along with them, I don't really connect with them. It's like I don't really want to work with this person. I see it as working with instead of working for or selling something.
I love the idea about like working with people, because I find that, and I think it's really applicable to the creative industries, is this idea that you are effectively a service person. So you are working with your client to make the idea come to fruition, not working for the client. You're working with the client.
With them, yeah. You both want to convey their message in the best way possible. Yeah. You both want that for one another. I think I kind of see it as we'll come together, find out what your image is, find out what you want to progress the world, and I'll put that into a website. And it's working with to do that, asking questions to do that, getting to know them as a person to do that, because each business has a certain client that they want to have. They want a certain client. Some businesses, even if you look at things like McDonald's, who generally try and vastly market to everybody. So in their adverts, which is quite interesting if you break it down, they'll have a kid eating a burger being happy. They'll have an old person sat by a table having a coffee. They'll have middle-aged people with their family having happy meals and stuff like that, because they're trying to brand out to everybody. But if you look, they're still not branding out to millionaires. No. They're not like got a billionaire who walks in with a Rolls Royce and steps in and gets his cheese. They're not going for that because they know that if they went for that, they'd isolate all the people who would buy a McDonald's and only target the millionaires, which would be quite funny to see just millionaires.
It would be funny to see an advert like that. It look very much Ali G or something.
In the next 10 years, all you have is just millionaires in McDonald's. What's happened? One campaign has just changed the customer base forever.
So have you got any practical tips on where people can start with this stuff? I mean, you've got somebody that's just setting up a business, they want to go out, they want to meet people. Give me some practical tips on how people can get started.
Yeah, so if you want to start and you haven't got a business, chances are you're probably quite motivated. That means that make your plans while you're motivated, follow them through anyway, because motivation doesn't last forever. It's like you get short bursts of motivation for each thing. It goes and it peaks and it troughs. Come up with your plan. I would start personally by figuring out what exactly it is that you want to do, finding people who already do it, speaking to these people as guys, meet them, be friends with them, be a nice person with them. Don't just take.
Mm-hmm.
Have a real connection with them. And through doing that, they'll be more happy to like answer your email. They'll be like, hey, what do I do with this? I'm like, oh yeah, sure, it's Toby. Like, oh, You're having a few problems. You're like, hey, can we like meet up for a coffee and just have a chat? Communicate is the hello, get to know each other vibe, find out exactly what their problem is. So find out their problem, talk about their problem, show them that you know their own problem and you understand their problem. Give them the solution, which is in effect your business or company, and close. So that's like a structure. Instead of doing it like, hi, my name is Toby and I'm from Swan websites. Nice to meet you. I'm here to talk to you. It's like structure. I'm just like, hi, how are you? Are you okay? It's like, oh, the weather's not very nice today. Do you want to like, say we're meeting for a coffee and stuff like, hi, how are you? How's your day been? Hope the traffic's not been too bad, or like, say if something funny happened in the traffic, like a little communication about that. And then, you get along and you follow the structure, but you get along and you communicate as friends. You become friends and you both come together to build their image online instead of this weird structure thing that's just weird. For me personally, it just doesn't work. I just can't do it. It's too structured. I want to talk to them as a human being. They want to talk to me as a human being. We both want to get along, yada, yada, yada. And that's how it works for me. You're both doing something for one another, but they're both like working with each other instead of I'm doing this for you. And he's like, do this now. Instead of me being like, haha, I'm building your website for you. Who do you think you are? It's more like, hey, look at this. This is coming along really nicely. Like, look at this contact page. I really like this picture we've put underneath it. I think it communicates to your clients really well. Yeah. Or like, I really like this picture you use of your shop. Like, can we put that in this part here? I think it's great. And it's exactly what, working together as friends. Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, what about this? And we'll be like, oh, what about this? And, you really build this great foundational thing. And little things as well. By doing that, you actually care about how it's going in a couple of months. You'll actually like think, what about old Paul? Who like, I wonder how he's going along with it now. It's like, give him a little email like, oh, how's things? Da, 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 da. And he'll be like, oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? And not just that, like I've been invited to like dinners and stuff with other financial advisors. Exactly. And he's not inviting me to sell. He knows by inviting me, I'm not going to sit down and say, hey guys, today I'm here to tell you about my... He knows I'm just going to show up, sit down, chat, have a laugh. Yeah. And through doing that, they're going to say, so what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I help you guys build websites and market yourself online. Like, oh, great. Like through being a guy who's not started off and sat down and gone, they're like, oh, all right, great, cool. That sounds really good. Like, let's have a look at your card and look at your business card, look at your website, look at how things are shaped and stuff. And they're like, wow, that's
a genuine really cool person that I want to spend time with, not just in business, but obviously dinner parties and things like that. They're fetching you into your life because you're a person that they want to be around.
Yeah, I think that's the key of all business, all sales, and not just all sales and business, not just business, but life. You want to be a person that other people can be around. Now, if you're not a person that other people want to be around, you can become somebody that other people want to be around through learning what giving value is, through the basics of making people have a good time in a non-needy way. Like, do you like me? Compliment. Let me buy you a drink. Let me buy you food. It's just like,
and that's just pushing people away, right?
That's all it's doing. Shoving. So the communication through business, I think, is important. Going to business events and meeting guys. Again, not going to business events, going up to him and just pitching your sales pitch. Going up to people, chatting, having a little joke about where they're from, like, oh, I'm from Norwich, and they're like, farmer town and stuff.
I'll eat the partridge.
Have a little joke, and they're like, they just kind of enjoy you being around and your vibe and stuff. And through that, they'll ask you. If they don't ask you, just say, oh, well, like, it's quite interesting to hear what you're doing because I do this, and stuff like that. Or when you get better and better and better, which is eventually what I'm going to be doing, is giving public speakings at like financial advisory events or small business events and saying like, here's like 10 tips on how today you can go home and improve your website instantly for free. Just a little bit of banter in between, joking about, see you later. And at the end of that, guys just gonna be like, give me a business card, give me a business card, give me a business card. Let's connect, let's meet. And don't just take the business card, ring them up, sell. It can be just like, hey, I met you at this event. You're really quite cool, yada, yada, yada. Do you want to meet up for a catch up and a coffee or something like that? And then when you get there, again, don't sell. Just get there. How's it going? Communication, friends. If it's not somebody you want to work with, get out of there. If you've got a good business, you've got enough customers.
Yeah.
If you're doing what you're doing right, you've got enough customers. You don't need to close every sale. You don't need to work with everybody. If you've picked the right market, you should have abundance of people that want it. Yeah. If you've got a good business that generally helps people, you'll have an abundance of customers who want it. And if you're a great person, loads of people want to work with you. You'll have an abundance of it. You want to come from abundance and not scarcity. I need each sale. Give me a sale. Sell. Which way it all goes wrong. Yeah. And it's the basis of learning. If you're in business or you want to travel or you want to do anything, learn how to communicate to people. Learn how to network. Learn how to, because you can't sell anything in the industry I'm in. You kind of can, but I kind of wouldn't want to. I kind of want to get their message into my business. I don't know if that's how because of the ethics I've got and stuff, I don't just want to email this guy like, hey, buy my stuff, buys it. And I'm like, cool, I built this for you. Yeah. I just want to, what do you want to convey? What's your market? Cool, let's put that into a website. And then they're just like, oh man, this is great. Like, this looks absolutely fantastic. And they're like showing it off to people. And by showing it off to people, they're going to say, oh, who built it? And then it organically grows through word of mouth, like the old-fashioned way, which is actually the best way to market is word of mouth.
Thanks for that, Toby. I really, really appreciate it. Some amazing advice there that everybody can apply to, whether you're doing photography, music, illustration, design, all these different creative businesses. Start taking it from the kind of finance industry that Toby's been dealing with, he's got his experience in, and how he applies it to his websites for companies. I think it's quite easily applicable to everyone to start becoming a better people person.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Cool. Thanks, Toby.
Cool. Nice.
So I hope you enjoyed this one as much as I enjoyed making it. Toby's ridiculously inspiring, really got his head screwed on at such a young age, 12 years my junior. It actually makes me a bit jealous, to be honest. His advice here really resonates with me and is so on point to how I'm choosing to live my life right now that it really proves that the second that you start working on your social life, your business can shoot through the roof with opportunities leading to huge positive shifts in your life. So go out there, be that more socially cool person that everyone wants on their team. So show your support, subscribe in YouTube and in iTunes. I make this content to help creative people in the areas that I've struggled the most in my career. If you feel like you're struggling with yours, or you feel like you've overcome some huge hurdle in your productive performance, then guess what? I'd love to hear about it. So get in touch, follow me on Facebook. Let's have a chat about how we can bring out the best creative in you and in others. See ya.